Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this, Earth and Star friends. I am Cosmic Goddess Blue Star, and I'm here to give you just a little bit more of an update from our last cosmic portal of the year, the 1212 portal, and it has been just incredible. I did an activation with the pineal gland and the God golden source energy the other night, and it was just absolutely profound. Um, Really a beautiful day for all of us to take a moment and just soak in all of those high vibrational God source light codes that are coming in from the galactic sun of Alcyone. I was talking about this. I was very excited when I received the download for this because I really resonate with the whole Pleiades energies. And when they guided me that we were going to be connecting to the star, the beautiful, brilliant star of the Pleiades, the sun, Alcyone. I was just super excited because I knew it was going to be just a magical event, and people are still messaging me about their transformations and feelings of just extreme bliss that they're still feeling, which is what we actually anchored in. It was part of the light codes that were coming in from Alcyone. So you might be experiencing that too, moments where you're shifting from, just being in maybe a neutral place or even in an uncomfortable space, and then feeling that shift and those blissful energies coming in. Now, Alcyone is just like Ceres is a high vibrational star. It's very, very powerful, and it is. I like to look at it as like Sirius is our spiritual sun, and that holds the male principle, where the central sun of Pleiades is considered maybe like the spiritual moon. It's bringing in the divine feminine frequencies, and that's what we experienced on 1212. So you might have been feeling little like heart flutters that day, because it's like bringing in all of those energies into the heart chakra, to open up into the higher heart chakra. So pay attention to all the little subtle things that your physical body is going through at the time of these events, of these, cosmic alignments, these portals, right? These gateways. And if you start paying close attention to what the physical body is doing, you'll start to see how your physical body begins to react from this influx of this fifth dimensional light. And you can even follow the Schumann resonance, because that is a really wonderful chart that just shows about how the earth is shifting and what the earth is releasing as it's receiving all of these cosmic frequencies. It's going into the earth and it gets released out. And this is what this chart does. It reads all the spikes and how all of the inhabitants of Earth will respond to that, so we can have our ascension symptoms kick up. We can have, moods, cycles change. And we're in a really big shifting cycle right now because we're at the year end. And think about all the work that we've done, our inner work, healing the shadows, right? So as light workers, part of our mission here is to heal our shadows, but we also guide others to do the same. And when you heal your shadow, this is when we have the tipping scale of moving away from that lower third dimensional frequencies to the higher, to the new earth. This is why we always talk about, the old earth versus the new earth. And you can just think about that in terms of, the old earth. the Kali Yuga, right? Where everything was control and fear and chaos and separation from yourself and separation from God's source, right? And you and God are one. You both are the creator and the created. You are the voice of God in human form. And when people begin to wake up to this memory, to this understanding, to this knowledge that they are that, this is when we start shifting. You start shifting internally, and then of course it will mirror. Here's your 12-12, here's the mirror. It will mirror your reality. It will mirror your existence. So think about that for a moment. If you're in a reality of chaos and fear and drama, what happens? That's what you live in. So it's going to constantly create this fear, this drama, this chaos, right? Now, our role here is to help you to understand why you are living that life of the chaos and the fear, right? And all the drama. And if you start doing your inner work and looking at your own shadows, what is causing, where are your thoughts, where are your perceptions, where are your beliefs around all of this, excuse me, we can help shift all that. Let me just take some water here. Excuse me one second. Okay, so we can help shift all of that. I'm just getting over COVID a couple of weeks ago, so sometimes I get that lingering cough, but it's not too bad. It's just, the little things that linger. Okay, so the more you look at these aspects within yourself, right, the more you embrace your darkness, and you start doing the active steps to correct it, to heal your trauma, to heal the inner child. We all have an inner child. We all have a wounded inner child. It doesn't matter what type of upbringing you have had. We all, as children, have perceptions through a child's eye, right? So there will be something within your psyche that needs to be tended to. It could just be that you felt uncomfortable in your body and you were insecure. I mean, I think every person on the planet is and has gone through feeling insecure or vulnerable, and this is what doing the shadow work does. So what I do in here in my practice when I guide and mentor people, it is so to help them to, one, be able to be in a space where they can open up and feel safe to access those memories, because sometimes the inner child is hidden. When I do the dimensional Reiki and I take people up to the 10th dimension, sometimes it takes a while for that inner child to come out, because they're not trusting. They might be peeking around, like feeling me out a little bit, to see if they can really come out and be seen, and be heard, because they've always felt like they couldn't be seen and couldn't be heard. So tending to that inner child, this is a significant part of healing the self and being able to tip the scale of what you're creating in your reality, right? So just think of it simply like attracts like where you're putting your thoughts, where you're putting your energy to. If you see people, for example, they're always, having drama, and, they're the ones always talking about drama, and all these crazy drama things are going on. You have to take a moment and take a step back and say, hey, where am I in this dynamic, and how am I creating this? Like, what is my participation? What is my role here? And that's really part of beginning the awakening process. And with all of these cosmic shifts, all of this influence of light, we have the influx, I should say, too, as well. This influx and the influence of all this light coming in, it helps to break up the debris, anything that's less that's denser in your body, right? So it's just going to melt it away. And when we address these things, we're able to bring in more light, right? You raise your frequency, right? You start living from the higher chakras, even though a major process, I'm not going to forget about the good old lower chakras, because that is crucial for you as you start to ascend. And when a lot of people begin to awaken, they focus on the upper chakras and they forget about the lower chakras, because all they want to do, they're being fueled by the ego. They want to like see spirit and connect with spirit and, you know, have all these fantastical experiences. I've been there. I've experienced that, not honoring my gifts of what, you know, my true gifts are. And, you know, why do I not have this gift and another person has this ability? And, you know, you go through that whole ego, you know, stuff. But, you know, we start to, you know, move up into the higher chakras when we do our inner work, and we start to really feel that God source light within us. And in my last video, like I said, you know, if you just feel that energy once in your lifetime, I would be just so happy, because it is the most, it is heaven and earth. It is that is really what, when we talk about the second coming of Christ, and I know from religion, they've ingrained it into people's psyche that this is going to be a time of all these trials and tribulations, and the world is going to, you know, crap, and this is the sign of Christ's coming, right? The physical form of Christ coming down. That is not true. The second coming of Christ is activating the Christ energy within, because we are the living ascended masters here. We are the masters on the earth walking, you know, we do our work. We become the embodiment of the Christ frequency, which is of love. That is of the fifth dimension. So if it's part of our role as teachers to open up another perspective for people who, you know, have with the doctrine of religions. I'm an interfaith minister. I honor all religion, but I do understand, you know, there's been many rules placed upon religions to keep people under control and to keep them in fear, to, you know, live a life of God. But God is within you, and this is the old doctrine. These are the old cycles that I keep talking about that are dying off. The whole Kali Yuga, the 3D world of, you know, duality, where there's conflict and control and darkness and all of that. And we're ending that cycle. That's part of the third dimensional, you know, world breaking off. So this new world, this new cycle. So the more people who become awakened, this is why I get so excited with these major portals, because I know people are going to be coming activated to who they are, and they're going to begin their process of journeying back to all of this understanding and their connection to themselves as God's source energy. So to me, that's freaking exciting, you know, knowing that a person is going to awaken to that. And the more of us who really start doing this work and understanding really in totality what is happening, we begin to create a new cycle, a new earth, because now we're functioning from a higher plane of connection to ourselves. We are no longer connected to that old, outdated version, right? Outdated programming, belief systems, all of that stuff. Just think about that for a moment. Think about everything that's going on in the world. I mean, the proof is right there. The Kali Yuga, the ending of a cycle. You know, all these younger generations coming up, working with energy modalities, becoming Reiki attuned, really tending to their mind, their body, and their spirit, right? Just think about it generationally. That's the waves and the changes and the cycles that I'm talking about. So when you have an older generation who's really stuck still and still living by the old doctrine of the church and the religion, and then you have a younger generation coming in and they're talking about, you know, connecting to the God source within, there's your old and your new world right there. I mean, that's just a perfect example of that, you know. So these systems are slowly being, you know, moved on out, because the energy of this new earth that we are, it can't sustain. It's just, it's not going to go into that lower energy. And those who are in that energy, you're going to be completely out of alignment. And kind of left behind in a sense, So you can even look at that as what the 144,000 being sealed represents. Think about that, right? How they talked about that in the book of Revelations, where, there's going to be this time where, when Christ comes down after this 7-year period of tribulation, and, those who are sealed with the God sealed will be protected, or they'll be saved, or they'll go up into heaven, right? And the people who are not, they're going to be, left behind, they perish, or whatever it is. But maybe that's just, what we're talking about with this world divide. When this Christ energy, which is coming down through these light codes, through these portals, it's activating the Christ consciousness within. 333. 33. Christ died at 33. That was his human form number, right? So the energy of this high aspect of the embodiment of Christ is 333. That is contained within us. That's part of the 444,000 strands of DNA that each human has, right? In the etheric body to be to be brought up and activated, and then you literally have a divine human here on earth. And that's how we create heaven on earth. That's how we live heaven on earth. That's how we live the embodiment of Christ within us. The second coming of Christ, it's within us. All right. Well, there you have it, my friends. I just wanted to share that insight. If you have any questions whatsoever, please leave your comments or your questions in this platform, and I will be happy to connect with you. But I wish all of you a wonderful and blessed day. Namaste.